Vacuum and Sewing's live stream for Friday, September 15th. A little bit of a late start this morning, just working to get Jeannie some supportive stuff this morning. There may be some light potential for Jeannie to be in the store later in the afternoon, but priority is going to be to get her rested and feeling better. So, not sure if Jeannie will be here today. Not starting with her today for sure, and wouldn't be until noon or later. Going to be a pretty quick live stream this morning because there is still a lot to do. Updates on next week. So as of right now, we're just going to plan to be in service on Saturday, meaning I'll have people working on Saturday, but not, I'll have people working on Saturday, but not, the store will not be open. So listed hours will remain closed. And we will, still be working on machines, but it gives us an opportunity to get the guys in the store, get things cleaned up, get caught up in service, and, basically get through what we need to do in the store. Still working on getting the nativities out. We got a lot of shipping done yesterday. I appreciated that call volume was a little bit lighter yesterday. So we actually got through everything that was laid out, and I need to get to work to get more done this afternoon. There will be no live stream on Tuesday. And the reason for that is we have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday morning at the time of the live stream. So, we'll do a giveaway today, and we will simply do the giveaway on Wednesday. I know there's lots to talk about and lots to promote, stuff like that, but let's get through what we've got on our plate right now. And, we will, we'll have much more to talk about on Wednesday of next week. We will also decide, I am still very much playing with the idea of closing the store on Thursday as well. I picked up on that, Carol. It all depends on how much we can get done tomorrow through Wednesday with everything else that we have going on. I may essentially just make the call and leave the store closed on Thursday. I would pretty much try to do that, and let you folks know that we'd be doing that Tuesday or Wednesday. I know Jeannie does not like that idea at all, but the reality is what we're trying to do is get everything shipped before we go for Parents Weekend. Everybody watching here definitely understands. We feel it. We love it. Thank you very much for the support through the whole thing. Our biggest challenge is the people that don't watch the live stream, don't look at their phones, don't look at listed hours, and show up on Sunday and Monday, and they're mad we're closed Sunday and Monday too. So So you guys aren't the problem. And we appreciate that. It's funny because Jeannie always, like, on Mondays, she's like, let's work Mondays. And I'm like, no, because like every time I've ever come in on a Monday, I get stuck here for like an hour because it's like this store is just open. People don't know. And so they just show up. And so, or they look at like, we haven't been in the yellow pages for like a couple years now, but they look at their yellow pages from like 10 years ago when we were open from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday. And they're super angry when we're not still open for those hours. So it is what it is. That'll all be for the A1 confidential that happens in the last 6 months that we're open. And, under Jeannie's and my ownership at some point in the future. Man, I've got some stories to tell. So, I'm here. It's 9:42. We've got some time. Does anybody have any remaining technical questions? I don't know if Mary's on the live stream, but I think Mary was pretty happy about our brief call yesterday. I was able to help her out and keep her out of the store, or out of a store, because there was really nothing wrong with her machine. It was just a matter of successfully getting through the update. I did have a phone call from my rep this morning. I was not able to take that. I will hopefully have an update from him. Let's see. Any updates on upgrades? Is it safe to run unwaxed dental floss to see if there are any threads in the thread path? I'm not a big fan of that idea, Cindy. Linda, I have more stories than ever could possibly be written down. Updated Stellair wirelessly. It was great. Yeah, and I did have somebody mentioned yesterday, I think it was Stephanie, had mentioned that after reaching out to Baby Lock customer care, that they sent her a Dropbox file with the most recent update for her Crescendo. So, as I was saying before, I don't know how Baby Lock's going to manage that. I actually sent a note to my rep about what does this mean? Like, these old machines don't appear on the website. And as a result, there are no updates for them. And his response was, have people reach out to customer support with their model number and serial number. Now, I don't know why they would need that, but that is, I think, essentially the process. You're going to have to reach out to customer support, and that they will send it to you via Dropbox. Margaret, if you hit the wireless symbol on your Solaris and go to, I think it's on the last page, it'll actually tell you if there's an update. You can actually hit a button and check for the update. I don't know what the number for that update is. And so somebody said something. Any hints on doing updates for the Solaris? You can do it. Like if you're wirelessly hooked up, Betty, you can hit the wireless symbol and there is a check for updates button. Like you can check for updates and it'll tell you if there's an available update. It doesn't show one needed, so I guess it's updated. There was an update from like Tuesday or Wednesday, Margaret. And so if somebody just said it's 4.6. I can neither confirm nor deny. Carol, you're local, so my guess is they're being picked up. And yesterday, I did not look to see yesterday if I think Graydon got through. Jeannie had printed out a bunch of local folks, but you would have gotten a pickup notification. If you did purchase it, you can feel free to swing by and pick it up. I think there were, as of yesterday, something like 20 remaining nativity kits. I haven't gotten an update on my Solaris 2 yet. It says it's not there. It may be something that you can download. Somebody in an earlier live stream, and when I say earlier, I mean like Wednesday or Thursday, had suggested that they read somewhere, and I don't know if it was on the Baby Lock site or if it was on the Brother site, that whichever site had recommended doing it via USB, not wirelessly. Quite frankly, I've never seen that on the Brother site. I've seen that on the Baby Lock site. The Brother site, I feel like it's much more automated. Either way, should work wirelessly, no problem. And if you're uncomfortable doing it wirelessly, or if it's just not showing up, then you can always do it via USB. You do that directly from the Baby Lock site at babylock.com. I had read on the Facebook pages USB was better. I'm of the belief that, like, we did have one update that was well over a gig and machines were timing out when downloading. So we finally got to the point where I was like, just do it via USB. I'm of the belief now that these machines are wirelessly enabled. You should just do them wirelessly. So I think it is, I think it's fine to do it wirelessly. Sometimes people go, my machine isn't telling me. There's something called ports. And when you're talking about like connecting wirelessly, if there is a ton of traffic, it is possible that there's so much traffic and so much downloading. Got it. Okay. So much traffic and so much downloading that we're not actually able to hook up and see it. And it just may take time. That happened during a couple of the updates. I'd get calls from people like, it's not telling me. If you're anxious, go ahead and run it and do it via USB. You do that from babylock.com or from support.brother.com. It may take hours to update, took 2 minutes. Yeah, if you're on a fast connection, that's fine. The biggest challenge is eco settings. If you have your machine set up to turn off, after a period of time of inactivity, it'll turn off and it'll do that. I have not any notifications for download update on my Luminaire. You can download wirelessly or just wait until it shows up. That's entirely your call. It's not a big deal either way. Cindy asked, is it safe to run unwaxed dental floss to see if there are any threads in the thread path? I'm not going to tell you not to do that because I know it's a common suggestion. I am not a believer in doing that. I don't think it's helpful. I don't think dental floss is going to get an embedded thread out. Like if you saw how thread wraps up in your thread path, you'd know what I was talking about. But it's, I don't think that's something I feel like somebody who makes unqualified suggestions on how to take care of your machine makes. And so, I wouldn't do it. To me, that's just one more thing that can cause a bigger issue. If you really want to do it, go ahead and do it. But I don't think it's helpful. What happens and where you run into issues in your thread path is thread breaks, and as it's being pulled through the machine, it gets tangled around something. So what we find when we get there, it is it's knotted up. Like we actually have to get in there and kind of break that up and pull it out. Where it's really the biggest problem is in the actual tension unit. Dental floss is not going to do anything about that because thread can get caught underneath the tension discs or something like that. And then it doesn't close completely parallel to one another. So you can have periods of time, like a lot of times when we see tension like too tight, too loose, too tight, too loose, what's happening is there's just like a little thing of thread that's just kind of wrapping up around in there. So that to me is kind of like, I call that a bulletin board suggestion. Like I used to when I had more time, I tried to be active on the Luminaire and the Solaris boards and the Baby Lock boards and the other boards where I could kind of help people with that kind of stuff. And that to me is a bulletin board suggestion where like if you're really having a problem, take it in. If you're not really having a problem, don't. The other thing is, maybe you guys could chime in. Has anybody ever done that and gotten a big wad of thread out and your problem goes away? Like, I feel like what I hear in the store all the time is, I tried this and it didn't work and now I'm here. So I guess if you're desperate, like I said, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but it just has to do with, the fact that like what I see and how thread gets wound up in there, dental floss is not going to do anything. I'm trying to log into my Baby Lock account and it says it's disabled. I guess I need to call them. I can't find an update for my machine to download. It's not going to be in your account, Margaret. Go directly to the Solaris page and download the update from there. Like on the Solaris page, you're going to find on the Solaris page, you're going to find downloads like manuals and updates or manuals and downloads, and that's going to be there. As I said, on the Brother site, you just go to support.brother.com and put in your product name. You can type in Luminaire, but better yet, type in XP1, XP2, XP3. Yeah, so Gwen's saying that she's actually gotten out small nests or small pieces of thread, both in the Dream 2 and the Lumi. Never put anything in the tension discs. I couldn't find it, but we'll keep looking. I was looking at software update and it didn't list one. Go to the Solaris page. Software update's going to be software. That's palette and PE design. Go directly to the Solaris page and see what you find there. Popped out of when I use my scissors at the end of a sewn seam. Just trying to figure out my thread breaking. I've cleaned it, new bobbin, and it still does it, and new needle. It just came out on its own. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, Cindy, you can try the floss thing. I mean, if folks are saying it works for them. But, you know, for me, I'm going to do everything I can. And just like, this is a trust my motives thing. Like anybody who's called me, here's one thing. If it's sewing, fine, just keep using it and then bring it to me when you're ready to use it. You'll also know me well enough to know, like, if you're in my shop, like there are a lot of people, like I had a conversation with a customer yesterday who called me from out of town, and asked me my question about something, and I helped her fix something. And she made a comment to me, and I know it works this way in a lot of shops, where she's like, if every time I take my machine into my shop, I pay a bench fee. A lot of shops do that. I don't do that. If I can fix it at the counter, send it home with you in a couple of minutes, I will. If it's got to go in the back and I can fix it in 15 minutes, I will. I charge you for that. But if I can fix it without taking it in, like we're so busy, I don't want to take it in. And so, this is a trust my motive scenario. And how it works in my shop is I will do my best to keep you out of the shop. That said, there are just certain things where it needs to come into the shop. A lot of times, if you're breaking thread, it's operator error. And that is not me just trying to blame you, but you know, you need to have the ability to unthread and completely rethread your machine, top and bottom. You need to know what your bobbin case looks like. So if your bobbin case is broken or damaged or something like that, maybe causing threads to break, you know, you need to know how to check that. And Cindy, I think it's funny. There are enough folks now party to the live stream that, like, I think you're in Tennessee. I don't think I know you personally or that I've seen your machine. And if it's a different Cindy West, because I actually have two or three. I have one in Oregon, one in Tennessee. I could have you mixed up. But there could be a burr in your hook. Like, all those are things that, like, the shop needs to deal with. The other thing I always tell people is change colors. Like, it not like if it's black and you've got a different black, throw a different thread in there. Maybe that's just weird, right? Like maybe something about that black thread and that portion of the embroidery is causing your thread to break. You know, try a different thread of the same color, something like that. But if you've done all of those things and it's still breaking thread all the time, the other thing is, like, I always tell folks, try a built-in embroidery. Like, if you're struggling in one section of your embroidery and it just keeps breaking, move on in the embroidery and see if it sews fine. Or do a test with a built-in embroidery. And if it's sewing totally fine, sometimes different embroideries, like you just need to like kind of work your tension. You kind of need to change your stuff. So hang on one second. I just need to do something for Jeannie right now. But if it's beyond that, then you know you need to just take it into the shop. Sometimes you just got to grin and bear it. Hey, lidocaine. Okay. All right. You sound better a little bit. Okay. Perfect. All right. Bye. So yeah, and listen, like a lot of folks, like when I was talking to this gal yesterday, I've been hearing this more and more that like you cannot take a machine in. Like when you take your machine in, the person takes it into the back and you're paying for it no matter what. I know a lot of shops work that way. Sometimes you just got to grin and bear it and make sure it works. True, Patrick. I have one gray that every time I use thread breakage, then I switch and it's fine, but I keep forgetting to toss that darn gray thread. Next time it happens, throw it away. Or mark it, like put a piece of tape on it or something like that. Regarding threaders, I would not try to, this is going to sound weird, but knowing how most of your hands work. That threader has a lot of really small pieces, a lot of small springs. And so most of the time the threader can be repaired, meaning we can reshape the threader, and it does not need to be replaced. If you did need to replace that hook, I would not recommend that you do it personally. Like take it to a shop and have the shop take care of it for you. It's not a super expensive repair, and it's easy enough to do it. Yeah, and Debbie Shiwer, ain't that the truth? You know, I always tell folks, you ladies have these beautiful machines. And then sometimes I see somebody coming in using like cheap bobbins from Amazon or buying the least expensive thread. Don't buy a Ferrari and put 85 in it. These things are meant to be used. And listen, in my experience, the Brothers and the Baby Lock machines aren't that picky, but buy a nice high quality thread. There's a lot of different threads at different price ranges, but the cheap stuff, you often get what you pay for. Yeah, Isacord and Brother thread, and the Brother thread is really nice. The Isacord is great thread. But yeah, I would have somebody repair that threader for you, Pam. I would not order one and try to install it myself because there are a lot of small pieces in there. And if you miss one of those pieces, you can do more damage than good. So listen, a lot on my plate today. No question for the day. Make sure to answer or just say hello in the comments below. There will be no live stream on Tuesday. We have a doctor's appointment. Live streams will begin on Wednesday. We'll give you an update on Wednesday as our plans Thursday and Friday. Store will be closed on Saturday next week. A note on Floriani, and we'll just bring it up because Cheryl brought it up. Floriani is beautiful thread, beautiful colors. It's wound with an opposite twist. We, at one time, were not just a top 10 dealer for, hey, Michelle, could you make sure that the front door is open? We were at one point not only a top 10 dealer for, the brands that we're currently selling, but we were the fourth largest dealer for Janome and Elna. When I would call a tech and I'd say, we have this problem, and the tech said something like, And the thread, and the tech would ask, what kind of thread are they using? And I would say Floriani. The first thing they would say is switch threads. Does the problem go away? Many of you use Floriani with no existing problems. Many of you report that, and listen, you go to the Floriani event, you buy all this thread, and then you have all these problems with the Floriani thread, and that can be frustrating. Many of you use it without problems. Floriani is one of those products because it's a little different from many of the products out there. It can be a little problematic. And the funny thing is, we're going to get all of it on the live stream. If there's 73 people on the live stream and I go Floriani, half of you are going to go, my machine hates it. I have problems with Floriani. Half of you are going to go, my machine loves it. The reality is, if you call me and you tell me you're using Floriani, the first thing I'm going to do is say, use a different thread. See if the problem goes away. And the reason for that is that's just almost how I was trained. That's how all the techs respond to that. So, it is what it is. If you've got a ton of Floriani thread, I'm not telling you not to use it. If your machines like it, use it. If your machines hate it, I don't know what to tell you. It's one of those things where literally the engineers at the companies that we've sold thread for, they don't fix the machines for Floriani. What they're going to do is they're going to go sew it with a different thread. And if that different thread works just fine, they're going to tell us the machine is fine. If the machine's operating at spec, they're just going to go, the machine operates fine. It's just struggling with embroidery. And it's just how the Floriani product is wound. Please don't put words in my mouth. I'm not telling you that Floriani is bad. I'm not saying it's awful. I'm just saying if your machine loves it, use it. Love those colors. It's beautiful stuff. If your machine doesn't like it, but uses other thread without problems, then save yourself the heartache and the frustration of trying to trying to figure it out. So, listen, Glide and Isocord are going to be the two threads that you hear us talk about the most. Exquisite, beautiful thread. And we actually, like, when you buy a machine from us and you're new to embroidery, we'll normally get you like a big 60 pack of exquisite thread because we can discount it. It's reasonably priced. Marathon thread. Another beautiful thread that, Jeannie and I have sold for years, these marathon packages of thread, because we could get the top 50 colors in two different packages, like the top 50 and the 50 through 100th colors. And those threads work beautifully. And so, a 2-ply or a 3-ply thread, I hate to say that money's involved, but like generally great thread's going to be about $4.99 to $7.99. I would recommend, just based upon what we're using in the store, Exquisite, Glide, Isocord, and Marathon have been the 4 threads that we've had with the best success here. We used to sell Wonderfill Polyfast, which was really nice thread. We just didn't have enough colors in the Polyfast. There are like 500 plus colors in the Isocord. Not quite that many, but really beautiful colors in the Glide. Marathon thread we sold in bundles. It's a Korean made thread. Little bit on the lesser expensive side in the bundles that we were selling. And the price went up on the Marathon, which is why we moved to the Exquisite thread. But like a 50 pack of Marathon, we could sell for like 150, and it was great. In any case, I've got to get to work. I've got to get cash in the register. More updates on Wednesday. If we can get together like an email update this afternoon, we'll do that too. And like I said, make a comment below. The giveaway will be active on Wednesday. Down below, just say hello. Wish Jeannie well, whatever you want to do. And then we will go from there. What is the brand of thread you used to sell? Jeannie has a bunch of it. She probably is referring to either the Wonderful Polyfast or the Marathon thread. You know, she's got a ton of it, but like I would tell you right now, Glide and Isocord are her two favorites, but those Wonderful Polyfast and Marathon products are great too. Have a great day. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.